everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is my long-awaited annotation system video, or long-awaited for me. So, there's that. The reason that I've always wanted to film this since I've started annotating is because I got obsessed with watching other YouTubers explain their annotations system, and I've never really seen anybody's in the same way that I do it. So yes, I'm going to get into my supplies, and then I'm going to go through my system, and then I'm going to show kind of how it works. So for supplies, I use the Post-it flags in the bright colors. I don't know if I'm going to continue using these because they're very expensive, and I bought all of mine while they were on like mega sale when college and school was starting back up. But you don't get very many of them, and they're like $6 a piece, and I'm running out of my little stash, so. The other flags that I use are these ones. I get these from the Dollar Tree. Yeah, I'm using these ones I have mostly been using in my Full Metal Alchemist, when I'm tabbing Full Metal Alchemist. And then I do underline every once in a while for certain things. I don't know if I'm going to be doing it for every single series that I annotate, but for those I do use the Tombow dual brush pens, and I use the little marker nib, and for those I use the colors 991, 620, 131, 873, and 401. Those are the colors that I use. I also have this ruler that I use when I'm doing my underlining. It's just this really old Cricut ruler that I've had for years that my sister gave to me. And then I also use this, which is just a little cleaning cloth that I use to wipe off the edge of the ruler when I am switching colors. Okay, so my annotations system is most importantly the tabs. I use these tabs, and I have it written down. Orange is for my favorite moments, purple are for quotes, green is for moments that I think about a lot, blue is for moments that I find personally heartbreaking, and pink is for any sort of romantic type of thing, so ship development, relationship development, or any kind of romantic scene or anything like that. Okay, so yes, right, that's my personal system. When I do my underlining, I don't think I'm going to do that for everything. I just have never really seen anybody else with a system where when they only use tabs, their tabs are still color-coded for each book, and like it's the same across every single book. I've never really seen that. When people only use tabs, I've only ever seen them use one color, or maybe it matches the book cover, and like you have a little thing in the front where it tells you what each tab means, but I don't do that. I have across every single book, with every single tab that I use, they all mean the same thing. I don't do my underlining very often, and I don't do underlining while I'm reading. For me, just tabbing a book takes me out of like the reading itself, because when I read a book I get sucked into it, and like the world around me doesn't exist. So to tab while I'm reading is already difficult enough, so I don't do my underlining while I'm reading at all. It's also why I only do my annotation system on like a third or fourth read through. So I'm probably going to be taking a break from my annotation system for a while now and just enjoy what I'm reading, but I do have plans to do more books. So yes, the whole reason I got into this series was so I could annotate all for the game, because it is my favorite series of all time. And I'm actually slowly going through the series and underlining, and for green tabs I also add my thoughts and why I think about that moment so much, because it is a moment that I think about a lot. and I want to know why I think about that moment a lot. It's one of the reasons why I feel like I'm never going to be able to share copies of these books, because it's going to be like, yeah, there's spoilers in here, because like there is straight up spoilers in here because of certain things, like this moment. They're looking for Andrew in, what chapter is this? In chapter 6. It's the end of chapter 6, and they can't find Andrew, and he was at Mac's apartment. And like, I have written down that I think about how like Renee talks to Andrew in this scene when she calls him, because like, spoilers, she knows that Andrew doesn't care about himself and won't care that they were worried about him. I think about that a lot. So yeah, and I have other moments written down. I think I have one on the first pink tab, and I think there's ones on some blue tabs. I know I have one on an orange tab, but it didn't have anything to do with that tab itself. I also really love the physical copies of All for the Game, because they have like really big areas on the bottom to write on. That's nice. But yeah, that's how I do my annotations system, and I've never really seen anybody, like I said, I've never seen anyone have like a tabbing system where they only tab, but still have it being color-coded across like every single book that they read. And I've also never really seen anybody with a tabbing system like mine, where it's like all the tabs are personal things except for pink and purple. And even then, pink is still pretty personal because I have things tabbed that I don't think other people would have tabbed. Purple is my least used one, and I'm bringing this up because it's hilarious, because I just put them all on one of these plastic things, so I have a full thing of purple ones, and I think it's hilarious. I use these in my journaling, but I'm probably going to actually be doing a one color tabbing system for probably Carry On, mostly because these match the covers, and I think these match the cover, and I think that would look really, really cool. So yes, that's my annotations system. If I had more time, I would ramble on and on and on. And if you want like a full video about All for the Game, and about my thoughts on All for the Game, and about every single tab that I have in All for the Game, because I could talk for hours about this series. So if you want that, let me know. It might happen. Yes, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.